Hello, everybody. This is Cheeseburger Jesus, and so 20 days ago from recording this, I feel really bad, but copyright issue got in the way, or else I would have been back sooner. I received an email asking me to play a game, and now this is the first email I've got, so I was like, oh boy, and instantly clicked on it. So the game says its description. Oh, also warning. It says warning contains strong language and violence. But it says, having lost his memories in a car accident, Peter is lost in existence. He knows little of his past, choosing to ignore it with anything that will take his mind from it. Due to his uncle working away, he's forced to move to a boarding school, where he discovers different aspects of himself with each heroine. I read it like it was the drug. Dag nabbit. I've not gotten that far. I haven't even opened up the game yet, and I've already okay. Now, with this being the alpha version, they say, I've relied on Creative Commons art and music for placeholders so far. It contains around 19,000 finely edited words dispatched into, I can't pronounce that, scenes that are designed to show, don't tell. Which is, show, don't tell. I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I find it funny. Uses Creative Commons art and music, show, don't tell. Oh well. I honestly am really excited to see this. I haven't opened up the game yet because I wanted, like, first impressions. So yeah, I'm gonna open up the game, make sure OBS works, but yeah, time to start her up. It's thinking about it. It's decided not to properly open. There we go, here we go. It's gonna turn it down slightly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just minimize the web browser I have in the background and click start. This reminds me a lot of about what was it? I was so close to playing Missing Stars. Probably the Starry Night reminded me. So, all right. The window's vibrations allow for a wave of comfort as I gaze into the stars. The view is beautiful, the night sky bereft of clouds. There's just something about the stars. They appear so timeless, so still. But in the bigger picture, that's far from the truth. They're individual solar systems orbiting our galaxy, too. As for timeless, many stars have deceased by the time their light has reached Earth. Will I echo beyond my death in such a way? It makes me wonder where life is taking me. I'm a cog in the smaller picture, coerced by momentum. A jarring screech sinks my heart into my stomach. Okay then. Blinding light stings my eyes. Doctor, he's stirring! I'm surrounded by the sound of scrambling footsteps. I manage a squint. My gaze flitters along a line of foreign faces coming to rest on the one closest. Can you tell me your name? My name? My name? Where am I? Seized by panic, I rise. The movement rips a groan of agony from my throat and wrestles me into submission. My lungs collapse to the pain of every breath. I can't breathe. I gasp for air and choke, reaching out to the doctor with curling fingers. He gestures orders to his colleagues. He's going into shock. Dread consumes the world around me. When I awake, the doctor from earlier is examining me. It would feel intrusive, but for his drawn eyes and worried frown. Knowing I'm awake, he leans closer. Are you okay? Who are you? My voice is strange and dislocated. It hurts to breathe too deep. I'm Dr. Gerald. I'm glad to see you're awakened so soon. Oh, crap. I clicked one too much. Can you tell me your name? My name. It stirs up anxiety. I know the definition, but why don't I know my name? I don't. He pulls a clipboard from the side and scribbles frantically. Do you remember what happened? I can only shake my head. His frown tightens. You were in a terrible car collision. I sincerely regret to inform you. His features fall and his gaze rests on the ground. Your parents are dead. There's no impact, though I know there should be. I turn from his grave expression and lift up my gown. Bruises descend my rib cage, hues ranging from bright blue to deep purple. My left leg enveloped in a thick cast. What's my name? A man bursts into the room with a panicked expression. Peter! His erratic entrance drawn to a stupor as he takes in the sight. I don't think I'm pronouncing half these right. I'm gonna actually... The music's pretty epic. Still, Okay. So... Okay, so the person who emailed me... I'm gonna pause the music real fast. The person who, emailed me, I don't think he realized he was talking to a redneck southerner when he's said, he wanted me to play. Like, overall, so far it's been pretty... Can't even talk when I'm not even reading. It's been written pretty well so far, but difficult read if you don't know the language. So, I can see a lot of people having issues with it. Like, certain words I don't know, yeah, context clues help a lot. But for people who don't know the language, or like, say someone who's just learning English wouldn't have a clue in the world. Just something to watch out for, I guess. Music's back up. It takes a moment to realize he's addressing me. My name, Peter. Who are you? It's me, your Uncle Benjiro. He lurches forward, hand fumbling inside his jacket. Do you not recognize me? He continues before I have the chance to respond. Are you okay? His voice cracks. He musters a breath and masters himself. After hearing the news, I'm just glad you're okay. It hurts so much I can't remember anything. Relief washes over his features. His fingers caress my cheek. I'm just glad you're okay. I'm always here for you. My home is yours when you're fit to leave. His reassurance makes me feel a little better, but only because of how lost I feel. It's okay, I'm sorry to spoil the reunion, but it could take months, even years before he's ready. It appears Peter is suffering some form of amnesia. 9 months later. I'm trying so hard to refrain from the amnesia jokes from Call Me Kevin, because I literally watched 5 Call Me Kevin and R2 game videos before recording. I wake up every day, nothing to rise for. Dude, you've got that sick flat screen. And are those soda cases, or am I just being stupid? I don't know. I maneuver my slouch towards the TV, knocking over a few empty cans as I locate the remote. The drab titles protest with snippets of pictures and audio. Nothing until the end of channels. I rest my gaze on the ceiling and sigh. Another bank robbery has taken place, this time in the city of Bristol. It grabs my interest. Dagnabbit, I knew it was race week. We knew it was race week. Why didn't we bring up the security? That's our local city. My uncle shops there. So does mine. My uncle works there. Authorities haven't confirmed whether it's a succession to the board. His voice rips my attention from the broadcast. How long has he been stood there? He scans the surrounding mess. Here we go. How do you live like this? I don't. I exist like this. What did I tell you to do yesterday? To clean up, but I couldn't sleep last night. He points a furrowed brow that seems to say, can you ever? I specified in the morning. I'll clean up later, okay? You realize you're due to start school in a week, right? He inspects his watch, drawing a wince from me. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, for Christ's sake. Aren't you at work today? Annoyance drips into my tone. He sighs, kneading his temples. No, it's Saturday. Oh. I shrug. It's not unusual for me to lose track of the day. I feign interest in the report, hoping he'll leave. But he places himself next to me on the couch. I shuffle to the arm due to the odor of stale alcohol and remnant perfume. Come to think of it, I didn't hear him return last night. Peter, we need to talk. My fingers flex into the cushion. About my... He's mentioned so little. Their deaths have been a looming shadow. No. He dismisses it again. It's a taboo subject. You're no longer going to attend a local school or live with me. I gasp, but he continues. I've arranged for you to move into a boarding school up north. My stomach sinks. Not only did he lie about the school, but you said you'd be here for me. You should have told me. Why didn't I get a say in this? He graces my shoulder with a few awkward pats. I'm afraid I have too much work. I'll be unable to care for you. Not like you did anyways. I can motivate myself and attend school here. Then you'll be fine living in your own dorms, right? It's annoying that he's right, that I can't find a legitimate reason. It'll be better for you to get out into the world and meet new people, you know? It'll do you no good to continue living like this. Dagnabbit. That only serves to piss me off further. He suggested that I take the remainder of the school year off. I can still do that here, though. No, you can't. I won't allow it. You're such an a-hole. I can't believe I trusted you. A sharp regret strikes before the words leave my lips. He shoots to his feet. Believe me, this is the best thing for you. The best thing for me. His words slice in a seething calm. So get yourself packed and ready. You'll be leaving next week. His glare flitting between me and my mess. Clean this shit up. I'm going to bed. There are a few people scattered across the seats. I'm just thankful they're out of view. My book's lying across my lap, the words left begging, my mind too distant to read. This is absurdly loud in my ears right now. Can I do it? It's still playing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Come on, I have sound at nothing. Whatever. Every rotation inflates my anxiety like a balloon. They say be careful what you wish for. I wished to get off that couch, to do something with my time, to meet new people. Yet here I am, dreading the opportunity. Though I left on good terms with my uncle, his words fester. Best thing for him, to get rid of me? I don't blame him. I've been nothing but a burden. I press my cheek to the window. The vibrations offer solace. But buildings and traffic now rush past the window, having left behind the fields and streams of the countryside. Okay, I'm gonna try and fix this. Oh no, I messed up the recording. Oh no. Okay, that should fix it. Sorry about that. But buildings and traffic now rush past the window, having left behind the fields and streams of the countryside. It marks a shift. I'm already losing what little I'd come to know. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to... Okay, I'm gonna take the time to comment that as recording it, I finally realized that the guy's British. Like, I realized it once he said Bristol, because I'm like, hey, no one ever talks about it around here. But hey, I'm right next to Bristol, Tennessee. That might also be some of the words that I don't understand and spellings that I have to stop and double take for a second is because it's British English. Guess it'd properly be called English English. Heck, I don't even speak American English, I speak Dixie English. Well, I was reckoning that I was going... Well, I's reckoning I's done nothing wrong, ain't you? if I if I do a full video in vernacular, I'd have to subtitle it. Like I talk like this, and this is about the average person. And then you go over and talk with my friend, and he's like, "Well, I's done did it, but I reckon it might not have been the best job I could have done." And that's one of those. Hold on a minute, what you saying? I don't understand. But so just had to get that out of the way. Somehow it all seems so familiar. I checked the time on my phone. 3 hours left to stew in my thoughts because it's 4:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The joy. I'm greeted by a smog of car fumes and cigarette smoke. The offenders surround me, sharing the small shelter at the entrance. The downpour, downpour, has people scrambling to their taxis. I yearn for a prompt arrival as they pull off. But I was forced to travel by train from the hospital after having a panic attack in my uncle's car. The image of the back seat sinks into my stomach and bile rises to my throat. I swallow the lump and shake the thought, pulling the makeshift directions from my pocket. I traveled the journey via Doodle Maps, haha, recording street names as I scrolled through. The end result is a list of street names, little sense of direction. The map's images taken in daylight. I shoulder my duffel bag and extend the handle on my suitcase. It protests in my wake. Rain rolls down my forehead and drips from my chin. The growing pollution fails to sate my lungs' appetite for air. Though I've seen it 1,000 times on TV, I feel lost and insignificant immersed within the metropolis. Commercial buildings rise into the gray-painted sky, adorning advertisements. Model faces apply mascara. Blissful couples frolic in the sun, and gritty alpha males emerge from explosions. When my gaze descends, neon lights attract my eyes to numerous entrances. They seem to swallow the bustling people. When I observe people, it makes me realize how alone I really am. Smokers pour from bars and pubs, sharing banter and laughter. Couples walk by, sharing the shelter of their umbrellas. And others share the refuge of the bus stops, their faces gloomy and impatient, merging into the scene. I stop to switch the weight on my shoulder. I feel their stares. Their gaze is a burden, as heavy as, if not heavier than, my luggage. I approach the school complex, thankful to underestimate my makeshift directions. As I stop to rotate my luggage again, a weathered man approaches in a guard's uniform. His smile wrinkles to his eyes lined with age. New arrival, I see. Yeah. Rain trickles from the rim of his guard's cap. Welcome to Sunnyside. Toy Story, why? It extracts a wry smile as I wipe rain from my brow. What's your name? It's Peter Inning. I'm gonna say it Inning. He swipes a pen across his device and punctuates with a final stab. I'll take you to reception. I gather my belongings and prepare to follow. He contacts another guard to relieve him of the gate, who arrives before we are even 10 feet into the grounds. My shoulder screams for him to hurry. Ah, the rain, it's stopped. I'll go and find Cheryl for you. It won't be a moment. I stare after him, following his trail of glistening raindrops. The word slug springs to mind. When he turns the corner, I'm left to the room. Pamphlets and notices adorn the back wall, leading to the kiosk with no receptionist. Seats situated around two large pillars through the center. I rest my luggage and slump myself along a row of seats, kneading the knots from my stomach, or from my aching shoulders. Why did I read stomach? Uh, I shouldn't read, period. The problem is, I just got finished reading Huck Finn for honors English class. That ain't that ain't helps me speak none English. Seriously though, it's only made my southern dick. I'm gonna call it Dixie talk because that's a fun way to say it. Southern accent worse. TV displays pictures of students, They perform tasks that don't merit their candid smiles. I mean, who smiles while studying? I'm distracted by shouting in the back. He reemerges with an apologetic smile. I rise to my feet, trying to impede his view of the damp stain across the chairs. I'm ever so sorry. You've just missed the lady who operates the machine for your card key. Okay, yeah, he did say card key, so key card. I sighed to spite myself. It's my fault. I was supposed to catch the train by noon, but I was still asleep. Card key? They're a staple of the school. They allow for access and identification, effectively replacing the bog standard uniform. Great. So not only am I stuck here, I have nowhere to stay. I'll admit, even in the circumstances, I'm relieved I don't have to conform to a uniform. I'd appear like everybody else despite knowing I'm different. They have lives, dreams, memories. Oh, he takes in my sunken features and offers a smile. Don't worry, I won't leave you to die in here. He draws a smile from me, which I extinguish. I'll contact Cheryl. I'm sure she hasn't gone too far. Thank you. Cheryl saved the day. Well, my night in this case. Not only did she create my ID badge, that also functions as my keycard, she printed an information package for me too. I come to stop outside my room, or outside room 117, 1117. I swear I can't. 117. I'm gonna have to stop because I can't read. My home for the foreseeable future. I place my card in range of the lock, confirming a green light grants my entry. I'm greeted by a room so impersonal you'd think it was expecting me. Nice. I rest my luggage by the door and flick the lamp on. Black beige walls, ugly mismatched fabrics, and longing storage space. Chips and scratches blemish the wooden surfaces, testimonial to the character they once adorned. Now they're stripped and left bearing scars. I strip from my soaking clothes and throw them in the corner, deciding on a hot shower to drive out the cold settling into my bones. I put my suitcase in the wardrobe, where it'll remain for a while, I'm sure, and get myself ready for said shower. I'm struck by wry amusement to find the bathroom is more homely than my room. I approach the shower, but the mirror stops me in my tracks. The reflection stares back. I struggle to associate the image as me. But those haggard blue eyes, they're mine. My hair short and disheveled, descending to my chin, that yields a meager sum of whiskers. I rip my gaze away and turn the water on, avoiding the image in the mirror as it warms. I add to the pile in the corner and slump onto the bed. My phone unable to provide distraction. It's filled with games that now lack my interest. I wonder if Destiny's online. It's been a while. Damn, that's right. I haven't connected to the Wi-Fi. Either way, I'd better get some sleep. I flick the lamp off and get into bed. My first day, tomorrow. The mention causes my mind to explode with possibilities. I shuffle in the sheets, failing to find comfort. I settle on my back in the end, staring into the dark foreign ceiling. Oh, loud piano chord. The rains stopped, leaving me shrouded in violent silence, unrelenting darkness. Gravity weighs on my aching limbs. Every breath contests the weight of my chest. Aware of every heartbeat. Every beat breeds anxiety, but every beat is necessary. Dissociative amnesia. Not caused by physical trauma, but repressed emotional trauma. Face to face with it, after avoiding it for so long, I free fall into questions, nothing to latch onto, nothing to ground me, not knowing who I am or what I want. I rise and flick the lamp on, pacing to tame my racing thoughts. Hollow groans erupt from my stomach. It conjures the words of my therapist at the hospital. Eating properly can stave your anxiety. I'm not sure if I'd eaten breakfast this afternoon. It gives me an objective, something to focus on. I grab my bag and head to the hall. I shiver in the cold air that greets me and creep towards the kitchen. Waking up people I'm about to spend the year with at this time wouldn't be the ideal first impression. I freeze in the doorway when met by the back of a girl at the central counter. Soft, Rhythmic scratching hangs in the air, the only reminder that time's still in effect. I jump to the springing toaster, slamming my bag off the doorframe. She spins. Our gazes collide. Startled into action, I initiate a greeting. Hey, I'm Peter. She clenches my crotch area, wide-eyed, and turns away. Comprehension sends a flushing creeping up in my cheeks. My boxers, She wrenches the pad from the counter and clutches it by her leg, knuckles whitening around the spine. She poises herself, as if measuring her escape. I move from the doorway. She bolts through. Her toast left protruding from the toaster. Hey, wait, your realization stumps on my tongue. Unless I want the rest of my new neighbors to see me in my boxers, too. I didn't see which door she went in either. I'm not prepared to test my luck this time. I prepare my food and head back to my room. Great first impression. Great first impression, mate. I set my plate on the side table and slide into bed, flailing in the sheets and wringing them to my lips. How could I be so stupid? Mentioning ideal first impressions. That wasn't one. Gee. I'm not living at my uncle's now. I can't keep moping around in my boxers. Now she's going to think I'm a weirdo. I hear a door creak and a rhythmic pitter-patter of footsteps along the corridor. I urge to apologize, but I can't bring myself to face her after that. My stomach whines, so I nibble on my sandwich to appease it. 1:07 a.m. It's going to be a long night. My alarm rips away the sanctity of sleep. I'm forced to open my eyes in my attempts to silence it. I groan and stretch my tender limbs. Yesterday's travel did a number on me. Despite the rising urge to skip class, I peel myself from the sheets. I scramble through my duffel bag for clothes and my rolled up school bag. I'm thankful to find a map of campus in the information booklet Cheryl printed. My stomach curdles with every step, as if death itself was waiting beyond that door. Well, that's what this primordial anxiety would have me believe. It has me considering whether to skip class. I could turn back. I jump at the sound of the bell. I hear a few people laughing behind me and assume it's my startlement. I nerve myself and enter. A plump, graying lady rises from the front desk and turns to me. Just in time. Her voice deep and raspy for a woman. She casts an ominous glare that accentuates her chiseled frown. I get the feeling I've just escaped a prison sentence. As I was saying, we have a new student. If you'd like to introduce yourself. An expectant silence follows over the room, crushing air from my lungs. I focus on the posters at the back to avoid eye contact and brush my fingers along my clammy palms. Hey, the name's Peter. I feel my voice catch and stutter, so I take a deep breath in an attempt to calm myself. I'm from a small village outside of Bristol. I moved to the school yesterday. I hope that I can get along with everybody. I feel desperate after adding the last part, but I can kick myself later. Tell us about yourself? The question stumps me. Posters exclaiming, "The art club needs you!" The Sunnyside synchronized swimming team aren't helping either. Could I lie? Probably shouldn't. I catch glimpses of impatient faces and force out a response. I like to watch TV, I guess. Snickers ripple across the classroom. A flush climbs my cheeks. I'm given a disapproving frown from Mrs. Brown. Sit yourself down. The seat at the back there. Yes, miss. I take my seat in the far corner, hyper aware of people glancing and whispering amongst themselves. I hear laughter and illogical self-conscious reasoning takes over. They're talking about me. Is it my hair, my clothes, my introduction?
Quiet.
Now I have to remember to turn that down in post-production because that went red on OBS. Silence ensues after her roar. As you all know, this is your final year. She proceeds to drone about future opportunities, but my mind is miles away. I don't even know who I was, so how can I decide who I want to become? I'm ripped from my thoughts when she says we'll be splitting into groups. Anxiety reawakens in my stomach. Everybody's forming groups. I don't know anyone. Yoo-hoo! New guy! A girl waves in my direction. I scan the wall behind me and turn back to her. Me? Who else? I shuffle my table and chair over, adding to the tumult of screeches. Nice to meet you. I'm Jennifer and this is Danielle. She takes my hand in both of hers and flails my aching arm. Danielle spares me a glance. I'm Peter. We know, you just said that. So at the front, silly. Then why'd she call me new guy? Mrs. Brown places 3 booklets on my desk and I hand them out. Without thanks from Danielle, I know. They pull out pins and leave me stranded, my stationery still in my suit. Hold on. Stationery. Stationery. What's a stationery? What is a British stationery? Okay, Google, you're not helping me any. Dagnabba, hold on, give me a minute. Okay, so the Brit that's on my Discord was offline, so I asked the Australian because that's the closest thing. And he said that's referring to like pens, papers, pencils, um, what did he call it? Utensils. So basically left his school supplies in a suitcase. Danielle is already writing, but Jennifer catches my helpless expression. You okay? I forgot my pen. The grin pulling on her lips leaves me unsettled. I've got just the one. She rummages through her pencil case with a chuckle. She hands me a pink pin, complete with a bright pink tassel. It suits you. I cast a searching glance to Danielle, who presents me with no other option. Thanks. The title: Goals and Ambitions. Gee, lucky me. If you would all like to fill in your forms, remember that this is your final year. Jennifer perks up. Oh, I know. I'm gonna swim in the Olympics. What are you guys putting down? She looks at Danielle for an answer, which she blanks. Then to me. I'm not sure. Danielle rolls her eyes, the first emotive gesture I've seen from her. Didn't you do anything at your old school? No. So all you did is watch TV? That's so lazy. The words like a punch to the gut echoes of my uncle. You should totally come swimming with me. If that's not your thing, then Danielle. An inconspicuous elbow cuts her off mid-sentence. Jennifer's lack of reaction implies it's a common occurrence. I'm left bemused. What was that about? Nothing. Just write down what you want, both of you. Have I made a blunder? Should I have greeted her properly or something? She's spared me a glance, her first words blunt and deflective. Jennifer seems oblivious to her venom. What crawled up your, dagnabbit. Well, what crawled up your ass and died? Maybe not. I'm trying to concentrate. Jennifer starts on her questions. I follow suit. How would you describe yourself? I can leave that blank. What are your strengths? Followed by 3 more pages that turn my stomach. I've finished most of the questions, despite them being hard to answer. But the unease rises at the thought of killing time over dinner. Maybe I'll head back to my room, or maybe... Hey, wanna have dinner with us? As if conjured by thought, I catch myself suppressing a smile. Sure. Brought your own lunch? Yeah. Good. Oh no. Here's Danielle. We gather our belongings. I glance to Danielle as we wait for Jennifer to dress herself for winter. She's prim and proper. She's the closest to resembling a proper student. Her eyes flicker in the thought, but her face remains expressionless. When her gaze returns, I rest mine to the floor, willing Jennifer to hurry. What's taking her so long? Winter solstice isn't for another 3 months, you know. It rings a chuckle from me, with similar thoughts crossing my mind. You're always telling me to pre-prepare. I can't win. Though it makes little sense, she grins at Danielle's grimace and leads the way. They lead me out of a side door with a few benches and the car parking lot in view, each taking a seat on the benches situated together, leaving me with a quick choice of who to sit next to. I choose Jennifer, who turns to me with a smile. So, Peter, you're gonna come swimming with me, right? I guess I could try it. Really? Yay! She sticks her tongue out at Danielle. See, people do like swimming. Yeah, people who have nothing else to do. Ouch. Jennifer isn't offended in the slightest, though. Don't be so mean. He's just moved here, she says after calling me lazy earlier. She looks to me for a response. I shrug and extract my pre-prepared lunch, ham and cheese sandwiches. Thankfully, they drop the topic. An aroma wafts from Jennifer's lunchbox. I find myself peering over for a better view. She notices and catches my gaze. Like what you smell? Yeah. She lifts out a wrap and displays it in her palm. My chicken wraps are fit for a god. I have my own secret recipe. They're not that good. Hush, you can't cook. Don't need to be a chef to know a good steak. Danielle makes a fair point, but I must say the smells amazing. Maybe you'll be privileged enough to try them someday. She gives a wink and gulps down a hefty chunk. We eat in silence. It lingers beyond the packing away of our lunches. They play on their phones, motivating me to fiddle on my own. Don't talk much, do you? Jennifer first to break the silence, prompting me to ask something on my mind. Not really. But I need the Wi-Fi code. Do you know where I could get it? I have it saved as a picture. She hands me her phone and I connect. Thanks. I offer a smile as I hand it back, which isn't returned. It's okay. You got Face AP? No. Get it and add me. Caught up in excitement, she snatches my phone. Guess I have no choice. I notice her phone buzz as she fiddles with mine, but she doesn't react to it. Make an account. I downloaded it for you. I'm interrupted from account creation by the bell signaling the end of lunch. Yay. We grab our bags and head up. As we make our way back, my impression of Jennifer being gregarious is fortified by numerous waves and greetings in the halls. I'm glad she called me over. This is a start. I'm happy to meet new people, even if Danielle hasn't taken to me. Dagnabbit, dog, stop barking. I don't know how long I've been recording, so I don't know when to stop. What with dogs barking, having to get the Australian to translate British to Dixie. Peter, I would like to speak to you after class. But my straying thoughts are stolen by Mrs. Brown. Ooh, you're in trouble. She gives a teasing whisper. That was not a whisper as she walked by. After making our way to our desks, we're instructed to reorganize. Jennifer sheds her extra layer as I drag my table back into position. She starts the first lesson of the day. Math. What? I don't know if that's a typo or if that's just... At this point, I don't know if anything's a typo or if it's just British. First lesson of the day, math. They put maths. I'm pretty sure that... Is that... I don't even... I've never actually seen math plural. I've only seen mathematics as a plural. But math. She scribbles equations down on the whiteboard. Students put their hands up to answer. I can't focus on the lecture at hand. The lack of sleep has done a number on my concentration. I've also spent so much time watching TV shows, documentaries, and reading books. My concentration lapses without adequate stimulation. They always skip the boring parts in the stories. The bell signals the end of the day. My first day. I just now realized it's been muted the entire time, hasn't it? Oh, there's not music anyway. Oops. It went better than I had imagined. To think I'd considered skipping class. Students rush to the door. Jennifer stops and waves before she leaves. Bye, Peter. See you tomorrow. See ya. I intend to follow, but I'm frozen by Mrs. Brown's voice ripping through the air. Peter, I told you to stay. Where do you think you're going? I resign and make my way to her desk. She regards me in silence until we're alone. What are these answers? I don't know what you mean. You left your personal description blank for a start. To my chagrin. I'm not even going to stop the video. Come on, Google. To my embarrassment, she begins reciting my answers from a piece of paper. Your strengths are, and I quote, making a mess and watching TV. Your only weakness being memory. Yeah, she considers me, a quizzical tilt lining her brow. I've been instructed to refer you to our counselor, but what have you been doing, counselor? Has my uncle told them about my condition? She continues after my lack of an answer. I'll reprieve your answers for now, but if I find out there isn't good reason, there will be hell to pay. Go. The counselor's office is down the stairs on the left-hand side. Yes, miss. All right, we got jamming music back, along with an ergonomic keyboard. The man spins to face me in his chair, flourishing his arms in a gesture to sit down. Despite his formal attire, he's slack with unkempt hair. Welcome, I'm Mr. Adams. He looks barely older than a student, but his smile uncovers this deceit. I'm Peter. His weakening smile lets me know he already knew. What else does he know? So, you think nothing of yourself, huh? I freeze. His assessment hits too close to home. He observes my discomfort before making me realize his assessment stems further. Sorry, bad joke. But why didn't you answer the question? So my uncle hasn't told them? But he must have contacted them. I don't feel like answering. His frantic scribbling reminds me of the doctor. Only now do I notice my booklet beneath his notepad. That's okay. Many people find it hard to describe themselves. He slides it out, scanning through my answers with a furrowed brow, his gaze still locked as he speaks. Your uncle notified me that you may require special attention, though he specified it's personal to you. I feel a sense of pride from my simple deduction. I'm glad he didn't. It was a taboo subject when I inquired. He set up weekly appointments for me to keep an eye on you. On cue, he rests his eyes on me. I see. How's the move been thus far? I shrug. I'm unsure of myself. I didn't want to come here, but I can't deny it's not as bad as anticipated. Ah, dog's barking again. Hold on, I'm gonna mute the music again. Dog's barking. Gotta go see why. I've even made a friend, I think. When I add Jennifer on FaceApp, that is. He measures me with a scratch of his chin. I'll postpone that question. Give you some time to settle in. We don't have time for a formal appointment today either. He tuts a rhythm while checking his computer. A week today, same time. Don't forget. So a week from today, same time, don't forget. He points to my booklet. Your memory is your weakness after all. I can only offer a forced smile as I think of a segue. Something strikes me. What are you going to say to Mrs. Brown? Don't worry, I'll deal with Mrs. Brown. I've heard she can come down hard on students. He gives a playful wink. The gentle taps on the door interject us. Just a minute. I'll see you next week, Peter. I'm sure you'll settle in fine. He initiates a firm handshake before I leave. I'm frozen in the doorway. It's that girl from last night, her gaze resting on her feet. Her eyes widen when she glances up. Once again, I find myself an obstacle and move from the doorway. She offers a queasy smile and flees into Mr. Adams' office. I can't help but be curious. She's so mysterious. Why was she up so late? It strikes me as weird. Then again, I'm also weird by that standard. And beyond. I realize this is the first time that I'm not in a rush when reaching the dorms. There's a small court with nets situated between the buildings. A few students are kicking the ball at an unfortunate student's rectum. So it's literally any time me and my friends stay after school and we just start playing wall ball. Wall ball's a fun game. Throw a tennis ball at the wall, and then man, it's been so long. It's oh my lord, it's been over a year because he graduated last year. We need to play more wall ball. Red dot's fine. The most appealing part is the view of the distant forest. I lean on the gate to take in the sight, but I'm distracted by the ball flying towards me. Hey, over here! I slice the ball, which travels to the opposing goal. Okay. He runs over, waving me to meet him halfway. That's terrible. Have you ever played soccer before? I'm automatically changing it to soccer because he said kick. Well, then again, actually, I've played soccer. I ain't played football. I know my friend, I know Donovan, he's played football. And I'm in marching band. Hey, first game of the season wasn't too bad. We only lost 30-20, considering we've lost every game the past 4 years. That's pretty daggone good. Can't say I have. His amusement ends with a tilt of his brow. I meet his extended hand, his handshake a firm tug. I'm Dean. When'd you move in? Peter, yesterday. Explains why I ain't seen you before. Ah, finally, some vernacular. Wanna play? I glanced at my leg. My shin was shattered in the crash. There's a metal rod in it to this day. I don't fancy having the ball blasted at my rear either. I really shouldn't. Why not? Come on. We need one more for even teams. I don't feel comfortable explaining why, and I can't think of a lie. Come on. He yanks my arm. It'll be too cold to play soon. Dagnabbit, I keep hitting the spacebar one. Maybe I can avoid a sore bottom if it's a normal game. Okay. I fold, accepting against my wishes. They begin arguing about whose team I should be on. I don't think I set a good impression with my first kick. Finally, we set up into 2 teams of 4 and began the game. I'm exhausted. I excuse myself and sit on the sidelines. One thing I've learned from this, I'm terrible at soccer and football. I'm terrible at all of the above. You done already? Yeah, I'm gonna head in. It was nice meeting you. You can't leave now. I have to go. Stuff to do. He regards me for a moment. To be honest, I didn't convince him myself. I didn't even convince myself. Okay, peace. But he can't anticipate how listless I am, yet. I'll make my way inside to avoid further questions. I lay face first onto my bed, heaving for air. My lungs calm, I roll over and draw my phone, opening the app and tapping a message to Destiny. Hey, long time no speak. A running joke we had that's for real this time. To my surprise, her reply is instantaneous. Hey, I've just moved into a new school. Really? Which school? I'm glad she's making the effort. She was never one for conversation. So I find myself keying in my location to a stranger, Sunnyside Academy. But with that, the conversation comes to an end. We met on an online game. She referred to me as Noob and introduced me to a clan to get me started. Yeah, I didn't know her. I decided to sign up for a I'm going to call it Face app. After signing up and fiddling on the app, I realize it's boring with no friends. Seized by a yawn, I stretch and lie back across the sheets. The events of today reel back through my mind. It's exhausting meeting new people, taking in new scenery and new information, but I can't deny the sense of accomplishment. My heavy eyelids descend on my eyes. I lack the will to protest. Alright, so for the. Oh, hey, quick saves. Alright, so for the first video in the series, well, if it turns out being a series, for the first video, I think I've recorded enough. Mainly because I look at the clock and it's 5:35, and earlier I said it was 4:40. So this has been an hour video at least. So I will see you all the next time. I will try and bug people I know who know the Queen's English and say, teach me the British mannerisms and language. Not teach me English, teach me the British dialect of English. At least it ain't like Welsh or Scottish that I'm trying to speak. I should honestly publish a game in my vernacular. It'll be just like Huck Finn, except without racism going down the Mississippi. Basically, it'll be spoken like Huck Finn, but nothing like Huck Finn, because it won't be about racism going down the Mississippi River. Considering I've only seen the Mississippi River once for a total time of like a minute and a half. I'm on the opposite side of Tennessee, so that ain't working out. Anyways, the game's pretty interesting. It's not an easy read, but it's not super hard like I had initially thought it would be. So we got the previous router uh committed Sudoku. I want to say that. Gotta love the age restriction on YouTube, which I will not have. I will have none of that. So I'm going to say Sudoku. But basically, my router stopped working, so we got a new one, and it was cheaper to upgrade our internet. So I now, uh, I think, is it still considered DSL? I think. I don't know. It's 25 megabit per second download and 2 megabyte or 2 megabit upload compared to 10 download, 1 upload. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good for me. This game downloaded a lot quicker. Cause like usually it was 1 megabyte download when I had 10, and now it's like 10 megabyte per second download. And it's like, oh boy, whoo, that's fancy. This is high class rich people internet, as I say as it's DSL. Um, but I'm getting so off topic. I have to end this video, or else I'm gonna keep going. This is Cheeseburger Jesus signing out. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.